Folks, the American political landscape is a fascinating thing. As election season heats up, we're seeing the same old divide in this country, the red states and the blue states. We're talking about the heartland of America, the places where traditional values still mean something. In this video, we're going to dive deep into Trump country. Republican candidate Donald Trump is gaining momentum, folks. There's no denying it. He's connecting with the real Americans, the ones who are tired of the lies and the hypocrisy coming from the swamp. Let's get started. First up, we're heading west to Wyoming, a state where the spirit of self-reliance and rugged individualism is alive and well. These are the cowboys, the ranchers, the folks who work the land, and they are not buying what the liberal elites are selling. Wyoming has always been a bastion of conservative values, but this time around it's different. There's a sense of urgency, a feeling that the stakes have never been higher. They depend on industries like coal, oil and natural gas, the very industries the radical left wants to destroy. Wyoming is overwhelmingly white, rural and Christian. The mainstream media might try to ignore Wyoming to write it off as a flyover state, but they do so at their own peril. Wyoming is the canary in the coal mine, folks. Next, we're moving on to Idaho, a state known for its stunning natural beauty and its deep-rooted conservative values. Idaho, much like Wyoming, has always been a tough sell for Democrats. For generations, Idahoans have watched as the federal government has encroached further and further on their lives, and they've had enough. They're tired of the regulations, the mandates, and the interference from Washington, D.C. Idaho might not get the same media attention as some of the bigger states, but don't let that fool you. This is Trump country through and through. Now, let's head to Utah, a state often associated with its Mormon population, but one that's also home to a growing number of conservatives who are fed up with the direction of the country. Utah might surprise some people, but this state has been a reliable red state for decades. They value hard work, family and faith, and they see those values reflected in the Republican Party. Utah is a state that's been built on conservative principles, limited government, individual responsibility and free enterprise. Beneath the surface lies a deep well of conservative values. They see the assault on these values by the radical left, and they're not going to stand for it. And they know that Donald Trump is the man to lead that fight. We're heading to the heart of Appalachia, to West Virginia, a state that knows a thing or two about hard work, resilience, and fighting for what you believe in. West Virginia, a state once considered a Democratic stronghold, has undergone a dramatic transformation in recent years. The reason? The Democratic Party left them behind. The people of West Virginia, they're salt-of-the-earth Americans, they're coal miners, steel workers and factory workers. They're the backbone of this country, and for too long, they've been ignored and forgotten by the political establishment. They see Donald Trump as a man who understands their struggles, who shares their values, and who is willing to fight for them. Finally, let's talk about Oklahoma, a state that embodies the spirit of the American heartland. Oklahoma, a state steeped in history and tradition, has always been a bastion of conservatism. It's a state where people value faith, family and freedom, and where they're not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. They've seen firsthand how the policies of the left have devastated their communities, destroyed their jobs, and eroded their values. The people of Oklahoma, they believe in the American dream, but they also know that it's under attack. They see Donald Trump as a man who speaks his mind, who isn't afraid to challenge the status quo, and who will put America first. They believe that he's the only one who can drain the swamp, restore law and order, and make America great again. So there you have it, folks. 5 states, 5 bastions of American values, all standing strong behind Donald Trump. The mainstream media can try to ignore them, they can try to dismiss them, but they can't hide from the truth. These are the people who built this country, the people who defend our freedoms, and the people who will decide the future of America. They're the silent majority, and they're not going to be silent anymore. It's a battle between the American dream and the socialist nightmare, and it's a battle that we cannot afford to lose.